I worked with one team where I didn't even realize this, where they hired somebody who was ex-military intelligence.
Yes.
And she put her mind to working out how to apply that to asset class strategies with fantastic results, because she really knows what she's looking for. Another team I work with, who always were keen on this, they hired somebody who's basically a teacher's data science, so, and then somebody now who's really quite senior in the federal government on the asset management side is a librarian who's very qualified in library science. And all three of these people, they're just astoundingly better with information because, of course, they're trained. Their brains work like that, and they're trained on it. And it's making me think we've got to upgrade our skills. I don't know, not me, maybe not you, we're too old. And we do other things, but we really have to get sophisticated about information. That's really a big part of our job. So that's very, very interesting to me, because we started by chatting about, do you need to be an engineer to be an asset manager? And there's a bit of me going, no, engineers are awful at data. They don't get trained in data analysis. They don't do statistics. They don't. So we need different streams of people coming in with really high skills on other things. Then we're not going to get it from engineers.
No.
I don't know whether you can train, but we were talking about how much you can train people. And I think some people's brains, they just understand what the information's telling them. They love statistics. They've understood what they do.
You
don't know.
Data analytics.
I'm not sure you can teach that.
Look, I don't know the theory of data analytics, but I've taught myself and grown with it. I mean, back in the early days, I was helping people with data, the same as yourself. But then I was starting to use that data and report back to them what it was telling them. And through the whole process, and I'm still doing, predictive modeling and all that sort of capability. Looking at the analytics. But someone who's gone through the course and understands it and they think that way is what you need. I've been saying for the last 20 years, you don't need another engineer to be the asset manager. You need someone who's focused on the output and what they're doing. And start with your data analytics, because they're the people who can take that data and shape it. You shouldn't be spending a fortune.
What you don't know as well as what you do know, or what it's really telling you. Absolutely. No, I think it's fantastic. And working with people with those skills, I feel, privileged to sit at their feet and listen to them.
Absolutely.
We were talking about this, the woman who's an ex-military intelligence. She was explaining, look, we looked at the data on failure, etc., and this is what came out. And somebody was saying, and they go, how did you spot that? How did you work it out? And she goes, well, it's kind of obvious. And no, it's not. It's obvious if you know what you're looking for. So I think the other area that really interests me is we need much, much better skills in risk, which is not unconnected. So that's another area that really interests me. Again, I don't think I'm particularly good at it, but working with people who are, and there are a couple of really good people in the US, is really inspiring me at the moment. I mean, Sandy, one of the great things about this job, isn't it, is that we'll go on learning until one day we will, we'll be in the middle of a consultancy job and we'll keel over at 95 or whatever, and we'll be learning right up to the day that
we will. And that's what I do. Most of my time, stay ahead of the pack or to stay ahead of the clients. You keep learning. You know what's happening. You can then promote that as another arm of your knowledge as to what other people are doing and how they're doing it. And then you start to think about it, and then you say, yes, you do draw conclusions about analysts. And that's one I've concluded. Why are we paying engineers that sort of money to analyse data they're not trained for? I mean, it's just silly.
They're not trained for it. And they may not have the people and facilitation skills and may not want them. So I'm very interested in who makes great asset managers. And the kind of skills they need, I mean, I said I was plugging. I wasn't then plugging myself, but I do have to plug that.
You need to plug yourself. It's your opportunity. It's your hour.
Building an asset management team. If your Patreon people don't know building an asset management team, it's a lot of fun. I didn't do it on my own. I wrote it with somebody who runs a very good asset management team in America, about what do asset management teams do, what do you need, what kind of people, And it was a lot of fun to, I didn't get it out deliberately, and of course this is a podcast, not a video, but just, if you have seen it, haven't you? Have you seen Building an Asset
No,
Management Team?
I haven't seen that.
All right, I'll send you a copy.
Cool.
We distribute it free, but you can buy a copy from Amazon, but I'll send you a copy. And it was really fun to write. And there isn't much else, which is, what is it really like to try to set up an asset management team? And you're maybe the new asset management lead. What have you got to think about? What kind of people? How do you recruit the right people?
Yeah.
And Lou Cripps, who is another person worth interviewing, his theory was, I don't know if he has any engineers on his team. Isn't that funny?
Yep.
He's certainly got ex-maintenance field people, who are
Yes.
ex-mechanics. But as I said, he's hired all sorts of other people. He was the original person who hired the library science person, and she was fabulous. She was so good on information. So anyway, if anybody is interested, they can contact me for a copy, or can just go to Amazon. But one of the things, of course, Sandy, was that it's funny in the world of asset management, and you and I were talking about the International Infrastructure Management Manual, really is still ahead of the game, really, when it comes to it. There isn't much that rivals it. There's still, if you're an asset manager starting out from scratch, there's still not a lot of help. You can get consultancy, you can talk to your neighbours, but actual knowledge in... so that's why, of course, I've been telling people, well, look at the Patreon, Sandy's Patreon, because I have no idea how you pronounce Patreon, by the way. But,
Patreon,
Patreon, sorry. But we decided that if you're setting up a team, you want a guide on how to set up a team. It's not in ISO 55000. It's not in the AM Council or the IEM knowledge stuff. There's no, like, I'm starting work tomorrow as an asset management person to build a team in this new organization that's not done. I said, where do I start? So that's why we wrote that, and that was quite fun. But we did get. Can you see again? I know this is not helpful for people on it. Can you see what the
platypus,
the animal?
The platypus, yeah.
Yeah, of course, that's the symbol of asset management. Yeah.
No, that's good. Excellent. Enjoyed this video? Press the like button and subscribe. If you'd like to see more, please click on the Patreon link below and sign up.